From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Cascade Paint and Supply is Redding's oldest family-owned paint store, established in 1953. We are the largest Dunn Edwards dealer in the nation, and most of our products are made in the U.S. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are ready to answer your questions and help you today.
Well, good morning to you. It looks like we are going to be looking at a bit of a transition. I know it's hard for some of you to believe, especially with the wet weather we've been dealing with, some of you for yesterday, and not to mention even dealing with it this morning as well for some as well. I mean, some of you are dry, right? We get that. This is a big, broad area that I'm covering here, so you get the idea. But there are those out there who are dealing with that wet weather even this morning. And it's hard to believe that today's the transition from the cool and wet to dry and warmer. So not only will it be drier, but it's going to be warmer by the end of the week. We're talking temperatures getting above normal. But it's not going to end, that's not going to last forever, because we are eventually going to see more wet weather this weekend and even in next week. But big warm up by the end of next week, and I put a big question mark in there because, you know, still got to wait for a little bit more consistency from the long-range forecast models, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. And we'll talk about that in more detail in our deep dive forecast. But look at this. I mean, again, that main flow of moisture yesterday was from the coast down to approximately Redding. That's where that main flow of moisture was. So you can see where the heaviest amount of rainfall was. Now, there are a few exceptions like Shingletown, for example, but the center part of the valley and even the east side of the valley just didn't see quite as much rainfall, and not to mention to the north and east. But still, some very impressive rainfall amounts over the last 24 hours in some areas. Again, just depending on where you are. Take a look at the North State forecast here. This is your planner for today. So yes, we could see some breaks in the clouds later on this afternoon. So I expect the rain heaviest in the valley this morning. Okay, at least that steady light rainfall, and then we should start to see some improvement going through the afternoon. But still keep that umbrella handy throughout the afternoon. And then Siskiyou, Modoc County, still looking at that chance, especially this morning, decreasing the afternoon. But I do expect afternoon and evening still to see some activity in the eastern mountains. Now for the north coast, different story. I think you'll be dry through a good portion of the day. Southern Humboldt, places like Garberville, for example, I think you still may see some showers this morning, but by late morning, afternoon, it's dry. Same situation for the inland areas. Trinity County, again, mainly AM showers, turning over to drier conditions by the afternoon. That's the area of low pressure responsible for everything here, and as it moves out, conditions should start to improve. So let's take a look at Futurecast. Here we are. We're going to take you into the noon hour. So you see how we're still kind of in that flow. Redding in particular seeing the bulk of the rain in the valley. Not as much to the south of that. Maybe even some breaks in the clouds by noon. But look at the coast. It's dry. Look at the Trinity County. Dry for the most part by noon today. But still, now we're seeing kind of the bulk of the activity to the north and east as well. And then to the south, not quite as much activity. Now we're going to take you into this evening. So at some point this afternoon into the evening, as that flow shifts down to the south and east, places like Red Bluff, Corning, Chico will get caught up in some of those showers. So you will see a stray shower, probably late afternoon, early evening. But look at this, it's drying out. And we're beginning to see things clear out as well. However, there could be some morning fog tomorrow, so be aware of that even for the Sacramento Valley. But when we go into Thursday and Friday, I mean, you're not seeing a drop of rain. You're seeing plenty of sunshine in the forecast. Here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures upper 40s to low 50s. Starting off this morning with some of the stray showers. Southern Humboldt, Honeydew, Shelter Cove, Garberville, Alder Point. I think you're going to be looking at some light showers early this morning, drying out by mid to late morning. Take you up north, dry for a good most of the day today. 55 degrees for Smith River, 53 for Crescent City, and 52 degrees in Hoopa. Take you out to Siskiyou County. I think you may see some showers this morning in some areas here, especially central and eastern. Western Siskiyou County, places like Happy Camp, Fort Jones, Etna. Good chance that you may be dry for a good portion of the day. Modoc County, I think you'll be looking at some of those showers here throughout the day today. You're still going to be in that flow even in the afternoon. Eastern Mountains, also that chance for showers here throughout the day. Temperatures will be in the mid to even some upper 40s for those daytime highs. We take a look at your valley neighborhood forecast. Yes, especially out towards the south, not that much this morning, but that may change later on this afternoon. Morning will be at least more of that steady light rain for places like Redding and Anderson, for example, even Cottonwood. But then again, we start to see improving conditions later in the afternoon. Looking at your 7-day outlook, you got dry conditions for Thursday and Friday. Now it does look like a complete washout over the weekend. And even as we go into Monday, Tuesday, but keep in mind, we're just going to be looking at kind of a series of weak storms pushed through this weekend and into next week. And what that will do is give us a chance for showers at times, but there will be breaks in there as well, and even some breaks in the clouds too. So don't look at this and say it's going to be completely wet, because it won't. There will be some breaks in there. All right, that is a look at your forecast to get you out the door. Have a nice day, everyone. But let's get into that deep dive forecast. There you can see the area of low pressure I was talking about earlier. So as that low pressure yesterday was kind of off to our west, you see how that flow is kind of coming up into Northern California. Now what you're noticing here in the last few frames, so this area of low pressure itself, as it dives down to the south and east, yes, as it does that, our chances for rain will start to diminish later on today. We're seeing that transition today. It's going to be this interesting transition as well, because we have more of a south wind still coming in from the south, all the way moving its way northward, those winds. That flow, as long as we have that southerly flow coming from this storm system, as long as we have that southerly flow, we're going to be looking at that moisture coming in, clouds and some showers. But once we start getting behind this system and this system gets down to the south and east, we'll be looking at more of a north flow. That will start to push the clouds out of the way and start to push the rain out of the way as well. So it's going to be that transition again, right? So look at the overall setup here. This is noon today. There's the area of low pressure we're just kind of showing you on the satellite image. But you see this right here? This is a little bit of what we call a dip or a trough or a kind of a wave kind of pushing through. This is still giving us, so you see how on the coast, this is all about positioning and timing. You see how on the coast, that flow of wind is coming down on into the coast, coming in from the north. But to the east of that, those winds are doing this. They're moving from southwest to northeast. That's all you need to keep that moisture flow coming in, and you're seeing the clouds and those showers. So again, it's this weird, it's just this perfect little setup for the dry conditions for the coast, and still a little wet to the east of that. But then once it all moves out, high pressure moves in, we've got sunny skies, we've got beautiful temperatures, right, for your Thursday and Friday. Everyone's dry. Everyone's looking at some beautiful weather. Check this out. There's the next storm system. But with this ridge of high pressure in place, it's going to break at that trough of low pressure. And that trough is going to be kind of diverted to the north. That being said, I still think we'll see some activity from that on Saturday. This right here is what's coming in on Sunday. This will be a deeper trough of low pressure, which means slightly cooler temperatures, better chances for rain. Remember, we're talking about with that trough, you take what's called a trough axis. This is the area of the most amount of instability. So yeah, I think Sunday we've got a decent chance for rain. I think the best chances will be, say, valley westward off to the north into central Siskiyou County westward, then eastern Siskiyou and Modoc County, eastern mountains. It'll probably be later in the day on Sunday when we start to see that begin to move in. But then the setup is calling for just kind of a little bit of a zonal flow type pattern. See how we don't have a very big ridge, we don't have a very big trough, but these weak disturbances will be passing through Monday and Tuesday, giving us a chance for some showers off and on. Not a ton of rainfall. You saw that. We'll be looking at maybe some breaks in those clouds. But this is the setup going into the end of next week. Looking at the potential for the end of next week, Thursday, Friday, big ridge of high pressure building in. This is a blocking ridge. It will prevent any storms from coming in, but it'll also warm us up, and temperatures will be well above normal. In fact, the Climate Prediction Center is beginning to pick up on this, above normal, above to near normal. So again, we're kind of in that phase where, yeah, we could be looking at that, and on top of that, looking at, less and less in the way of the chances for rain out there as well. So here's the long range. We're going to take, of course, look at that ridge of high pressure, right? So we got the dry conditions after today. And then there's that system coming in Saturday. See how it's not very strong? Because again, it's not as deep of a trough of low pressure. Let's take you on into your Sunday. Now this one's going to be a little bit stronger, right? Because we've got this trough right here. There's the trough axis right here, and we get in that area where we're seeing the most amount of instability. That pushes through Sunday evening. Monday, a weak system passes through, and not to mention into Tuesday, and then there's that ridge of high pressure building in, giving us the drier and warmer conditions for the end of the week. The winds. So again, as we go later this afternoon, now the winds are from the north. This is when things, for the most part, will be dry. And on top of that, I do expect even some stronger north winds for the valley on Thursday, because we'll be looking at that flow of that jet stream right on top of us, and that should give us some gusty north winds at times on Thursday. Then on Friday, the winds should start to subside, and not to mention going into the weekend. So you can see the wave heights. They are actually, as we take a look as we go into Thursday, they should start to drop here. So, of course, that's going to be better news if you do need to be on a small boat. Here's your marine forecast. There is now a small correct advisory starting at 9 o'clock this morning through the afternoon. So, of course, those waves are expected to be fairly high. Here's what it looks like today. Temperatures mid to upper 50s, even some low 60s in the valley, but temperatures in the 40s for most of us in the higher elevations, low to mid 50s out along the coast. And taking a quick look at your 7-day forecast region by region, there you can see for the valley, dry. Showers off and on Saturday all the way through next Tuesday. And really everyone, coast, inland, valley, mountains, all dry, all warmer for Thursday and Friday. And then looking at that 7-day outlook for Mount Shasta, Alturas, and Susanville, there, of course, you can see the chance for more showers over the weekend with snow levels around 4,000 feet.